Today we're going to be installing the Ecobee Smart Thermostat. I'm going to open up this box, give you guys a peek inside, and then show you how it's done. I'm Kevin. I'm a techie, a do-it-yourselfer, and a first-time homeowner. Join me on this journey while I make it my own. So this is the Ecobee Smart Thermostat with voice control. I wanted the one that has Alexa built in because I've got an Echo pretty much in every room of the house, and that's one of the ecosystems I'm using for smart home. You can see there's a sensor that helps you detect occupancy and motion. That's actually pretty cool. Saves you some money. Obviously, this is a smart device, so you can control it with your phone or with your smart home devices. And one of the reasons why I chose this one in particular is because it works with Google Home, Apple HomeKit, which is my ecosystem of choice, and then of course Alexa, because I've got those devices all over the house. If you want a little more advanced controls outside of HomeKit, this device also works with Samsung SmartThings. So it's a pretty universal device, and it was one of the reasons why I selected it. Got a speaker on the bottom for Alexa, and I think it's made pretty well. Let's go ahead and set that down. This is the smart sensor. So this does temperature in another room. It also will detect motion and occupancy. And what's really cool is if you integrate this with HomeKit, you could use this sensor to trigger other routines. Doesn't just need to be air conditioner. You can have lights turn on and off in the hallway when you walk past the thermostat. You can have the living room lights turn off if the living room is not occupied. And all of that is just based on the sensor. Got some manuals here. This is pretty clean documentation, nothing crazy. And as you continue to open it, you find other information like quick reference guides, how to installs. There's a template for mounting. You've got some stickers here to label your wires on your existing thermostat before you start taking things apart. In this house, the wires are color-coded. I think modern homes, for the most part, probably are, but I'm not sure about that. This little plastic template covers big holes in the wall if you have an older thermostat. I don't like the way it looks, like having the thermostat on top of this wall plate, so I'm going to try not to use it if I could avoid it. That's just a personal preference. You've got this power adapter. So in some cases, you don't have what's called a C-wire on your thermostat. The C-wire gives constant power, and the Ecobee does not have batteries that I'm aware of, and it needs to be hardwired. So you have to use this adapter if you don't have a C-wire in your existing setup. This is like a little magnetic base that goes to the bottom of the smart sensor. You could stick this on a shelf somewhere. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing, maybe on the TV stand in the living room. It also comes with a clip that you can attach this to a wall, like up in a corner with like a nail or a screw or something, but I'll probably just set this down. This is a cool little back plate. This is where you connect the wiring that comes out of your wall from your AC unit. Basically where your old thermostat was, this is what you connect. It's got a level built in, which is a cool little feature. And then here's the hardware, the little plastic clip that I was telling you about, and the screws and all of that. So the thermostat could go directly to this back plate. This assumes that you don't have a big hole in the wall already. If you do have a hole in the wall, you have to use this, or you don't have to, but you could. I just don't think it looks as clean. Now, removing your old thermostat is super easy. All you got to do is pull. Simple as that. This is typically how you change the batteries, but in this case, I'm pulling off the thermostat because I'm going to replace it. In this particular thermostat, you pull this tab here to expose the wiring. I've got 4 wires here, a red, a yellow, a green, and a white. It's a good idea to take a picture of this before you start pulling things apart, just in case you have to undo it or need to troubleshoot later on. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start disassembling with the tools. Now, one thing I'm noticing right away is that I don't have a C-wire. As I take this apart, I see that there's a blue wire here. That's typically the C-wire, but I don't know if it's connected to anything on the other end. It's just kind of wrapped up. So off to the AC unit. I took off the electrical panel so that I can get a better inspection of what's going on here. I'm really trying to see if the blue wire is connected or wired up to anything yet. And here you can see it is not. It's actually just wrapped around the brown wire here, just like it is on the other side. Goes without saying, make sure your circuit breakers are off, but basically what I'm going to do is connect this blue wire to the C block or terminal on the electrical panel. I had to do this off camera, but this is what it looks like when it's done. Now that I'm actually going to use this wire, I'm going to untwist it or unravel it from the rest of the cable. So you could do that with your fingers or a pair of pliers. Now I'm going to strip it. I'm going to try to get it to the same length as the other wire since I'm actually going to be using it. And now I officially have a C wire. This prevents me from having to use that adapter that came in the box. Now, before I screw this back plate down into the wall, I'm going to connect these wires. So you can look at the quick reference guide for how to do this. For the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. Red to red, white to white, and of course my new blue wire. Putting the connections on now before you get this on the wall just makes it a little easier to manage. These are tiny little wires, so I wanted all the flexibility I could get. Now you level it up with the built-in level, take a drill, and simply just tighten it down. I opted to put this on the existing switch plate that was there because it was a smaller hole and less obstructive than using the back plate that came with the thermostat. So here's the finished product, leveled, and of course all the connections are made. And here's the moment of truth. Turn on your circuit breakers and connect this. You just push it on from the front the same way you took the other one off. Now this is a smart thermostat instead of a traditional one, which means that it has software on it. And because it wasn't powered up before, I have to wait for it to boot up. So that's what's happening here. In the meantime, this is a great sign because it means that that new C wire actually works and it's getting its power. So I'm just going to follow the on-screen menus here, do the configuration, and I'm also going to download the app on my smartphone so that I can get everything integrated with the rest of my smart home, like Alexa, Google Home, and of course HomeKit. This same process will also walk you through setting up the smart sensor. So it tells you here that you've got to take your sensor and there's a tab on the back, pull out the tab to activate it. It kind of syncs up and does all the connecting on its own. Then it asks you how you want to configure it. So you just kind of follow the on-screen prompts and go through the process. To get this thing connected to the internet, you can plug in your Wi-Fi credentials directly onto the thermostat, or you can use your phone if you've got the app. I chose to use the app and do all this stuff off screen so that I can get connected. This also integrates really nicely with HomeKit. So I swipe down from the top of my iPhone screen, and right from the favorites, I can choose the thermostat and set the temperature. I can also go into the Home app directly and select the thermostat and do the same thing, but I have the added options of setting up automations. For example, when I leave home, turn off the AC or turn it up, or when I walk by the thermostat in the hallway to turn on those lights. And of course, the thermostat has built-in Alexa, so you have to have fun with that sometimes.
Alexa, announce.
Announcing.
Oh my god.
In the end, everything works great, and I'm really happy with this purchase.